Are you suffering from extensive fatigue? Are you tired of being passed up for promotion while being told that you are the problem?
What's up, guys? Benny. We often say we are back, boys, but we really mean it this time. The DOJ is now offering cash to white males who have been discriminated against by society, a society of wokeness and DEI that had habitual and systemic discrimination racially, but against us. And it's been proven time and time again by thousands of studies now that the hiring managers and the quota systems that restricted white male candidates destroyed an entire generation of young, high-achieving white men. And the DOJ is now demanding that there be retribution and reconciliation and reparations to white people. Incredible times that we are living in. Federal watchdog urges white men to report possible workplace discrimination. JD Vance boosts the message. Federal watchdog shared a message on Wednesday asking white men to come forward with potential instances of racial discrimination in the workplace. JD Vance reposted the message from the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. You probably heard of it. The chairwoman of that commission posted a statement on X. Are you a white male who's experienced discrimination based on your work or race or sex? You may have a claim to recover money under federal civil rights laws. Contact us. Yes, this is a real post. Here is the post itself. It's been seen by millions of people, 7,000 reposts, 26,000 likes, and 2,000 comments. We are committed to identifying, attacking, and eliminating all race and sex discrimination, including against white males and employees and applicants. Oh, wow. Just the Overton window has broken now. It's great to see that the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission is asking white American men to file complaints as they experience workplace discrimination on the basis of race, sex, or race. But it'd be even better and relevant if the authorities started fining and sanctioning corporations that openly boasted about their anti-white discrimination. Corporate America promised to hire a lot more people of color. It actually did. Look at this. Whites were 6% of the hires. People of color were 94% of the hires. And the tertiary results of this are catastrophic, because if those young white men don't go get jobs, they don't buy homes, start families, have careers, have children. You're cutting off an entire race of people because of their skin color. You're destroying their futures. The tertiary results of that, of course, are spiraling poverty, collapse, like damaging entire families, legacies, some of them who have been in this country since the Revolutionary War and pre-war. Here is the commissioner here sounding off. You are 100% right. We need people to speak up. Discrimination against white males is unlawful. Race and sex discrimination. There's no permissible or good form of discrimination. I encourage you to reach out to my office. Look at this. Here's an individual saying, I no longer care about the stigma nor the views of people who impose it. Nothing will change unless people speak up. No, it's not okay to remove people from searches if they are white, or worse, if they are a white male. He's here giving an example at his college, Boston University, about how it was effectively illegal to hire white males. After years of globo homo DEI brain rot coming to the federal government, it's refreshing to see the EEOC publicly stating that discrimination at all is illegal. Common sense. This is one of the articles from Compact Magazine that started it all. I think a lot of people think DEI is lame diversity seminars and racial slogans at NFL games. In reality, it's a deliberate program of discrimination, primarily against white men. It's an incredible piece that describes the evil of DEI and its consequences, says JD Vance. And he did a thread here, sort of obviously popularizing this. I encourage you to go read this remarkable piece from Compact Magazine, where they go into effectively the Stasi of HR managers who demanded institutional racism against whites. JD Vance says, one final observation about the essay, much of this was generational. Older white men created a system whereby they'd be fine, but millennials and Gen Z got screwed. Cowardice and evil are a deadly combination. So the older white boomer managers were able to survive, but the psychotic left-wing HR managers that they hired then discriminated against younger men, their children. Totally evil. Absolutely right, JD Vance. Precisely because of this widespread, systemic, unlawful discrimination, primarily harmed white men, elites need to stop turning a blind eye. They celebrated it. Unacceptable, unlawful. We won't rest until discrimination is eliminated. This is amazing. There's going to be a more explicit written evidence to support these claims in court than the vast majority of EEOC cases. It will be a slam dunk. Thousands could get paid. Companies could go bankrupt. If a private employer discriminates on the basis of race or sex, this outfit has primary jurisdiction. If a public employer does this, her agency can investigate it and take it to litigation. Reach out to us. These, by the way, these like lawsuits can pay out huge. You should do this if you were discriminated against being a white male. Corporate America is about to learn that it probably made a mistake to spend the last decade openly bragging in their annual reports about the lack of white men in their boardrooms. Pandora's box is going to be open unlike anything we've ever seen. Disney, by the way, probably in the crosshairs here. The Disney Corporation openly brags about how discriminatory they are against whites. This is a massive shift, with Federal Civil Rights Office now explicitly naming the problem of anti-white racism, calling on individuals to take action. This is the real deal. This is, again, Andrea Lucas. You should get in touch with her. This is great. But you can go through the Fortune 500 annual reports and find every single one bragging about doing this. You can take them all down one by one. No need for whistleblowers. They literally produce charts, data, and interviews about doing exactly this. Tell your friend, tell your family, these lawsuits pay. This is the way. They only hired 6% white males, right? In a country filled with white males, in a country where we are the majority, not by a little, by a massive amount. These stats are wild. It's not just newsrooms. Every major institution in America life intentionally and aggressively discriminated against white men for the last decade, denying them basic opportunity to participate in the American dream. No wonder they are listening to podcasters that you don't like. Until you focus on solving these underlying issues, ending up with oppression of white Americans, they'll keep turning to voices that acknowledge their plight. White men are the most discriminated group in America. Discrimination against whites and whites alone is institutionally viewed as an accomplishment. It is illegal. White men are being systemically displaced from white-collar and blue-collar work alike. Many institutions, their success is immediately capped, mere continuance, subject to perpetual humiliation rituals and moralizing subjugation. A labor force participation for white men, you can see here, collapsing from 1950, where it's at nearly 90%, down here to 65. Labor force participation for the white race. You can see here again, collapsing. Engage with really old men. Young white men have been viciously racially discriminated against for the past 10 years. Look at that. Foreign-born workers, native workers. The charts show it. All the data shows it. Change in employment. Nearly 1 million white people lost jobs. Meanwhile, blacks, Asians, and Hispanics were hired in mass. FAA turned away qualified air traffic controllers based solely on race. How often do you pass over qualified candidates because they're not diverse enough? Very often, somewhat often. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, a great rant here by Matt Walsh. Totally worth listening to. About, well, who actually built this country. And the open discrimination, destruction of the careers and lives of people who built this country. You're not going to have a country. Wisdom from Matt Walsh. Here we go.
The biggest and most important downstream consequence of this open discrimination against white men is that everything in society gets worse as a result. That is the second order effect that the compact piece doesn't really get into. It's the third rail, the part you're not supposed to talk about. But the truth, which everybody intuitively knows, is that things were a lot better back when white men were not being discriminated against by every institution in the country, but instead were running most of them. And the fact of the matter is that a hugely disproportionate number of our greatest leaders, innovators, pioneers, explorers, philosophers, and so on, have been white men. I mean, without white men, we wouldn't have airplanes or spaceships or trains or phones or light bulbs or computers or the internet or batteries or X-ray machines or jet engines or rockets or 1,000 other things that our society depends on to exist and to flourish. We never would have had a railway system or the printing press. We wouldn't have this country, which was founded by white men and led by white men and expanded from coast to coast and settled and built up mostly by white men. Now, these are all facts, historical realities that cannot be denied by reasonable people. It's just true. And while black women are encouraged to be proud of the historical achievements of black women, whatever those might be, and Asians to be proud of Asian achievements and Native Americans of Native American achievements and so on, white men are the one group in the entire face of the planet who've been forbidden to even acknowledge what other white men have accomplished, much less to express any pride in it, God forbid. Instead, our society set out on a campaign to punish and exclude and alienate this very group. That is their reward for having carried the weight of Western civilization on their shoulders.